Well, at least it's Friday. Let's take a look at some stocks on the move. Take a look at Oracle, up 16%. This is after the cloud infrastructure company reported its earnings yesterday. Revenue was up, but they did have a net loss. But when you adjust for the idiosyncratic charge, they actually had positive earnings of about $1.21 per share. That one charge was, by the way, a payment related to a dispute regarding former CEO Mark Hurd, but apparently no one worried about that because just the overall story for Oracle being able to grow top line growth as much as they did, really surging the stock right now. Julie, I think this is a pretty noticeable move on a day like today, right?
Yeah, and for such a large company as well, this is part of the reason why we are seeing the NASDAQ outperform the other major averages today. To see that kind of a gain to a record for a company of that size, definitely having an effect. So the company's forecast here coming out and saying for the third quarter, that's the fiscal current quarter, will be $1.14 to $1.18 a share. That's about in line with analyst estimates, and revenue is going to rise 3 to 5%. 5% is what analysts have been projecting there. And the CEO, Safra Catz, calling out in particular the infrastructure and applications cloud business, which grew by 22%. So this cloud business is something that investors have it's been gaining momentum, but investors have also been waiting for. And you see the year-to-date chart and really the absolute leg up that the shares are seeing today. It shows that that kind of waiting is now being rewarded.
Yeah, I'll just add too, Oracle, the revenue growth, constant currency up 6%. That is an acceleration versus the company's first fiscal quarter just 3 months ago. The street very much like that. The street also liked infrastructure ecosystem revenue, constant currency up 5%, the highest in 3 years, according to the team over at Jefferies. And then I just like Larry Ellison hopping onto his earnings call last night saying, customers are telling me our cloud systems don't go down like Amazon AWS. I like Larry Ellison flinging it a little bit at Amazon. I dig it. Of course, AWS had that big outage last week, and the whole world essentially shut down. Good for him.
Brian, I know that there's nothing you love more than one company digging at another company on an earnings call, especially coming from Larry Ellison. Gets a little bit of the salt going there.
Nothing excites me more in this world when I saw that quote on that earnings call. Absolutely love it. I encourage everybody to read that Oracle call.
Well, let's shift gears over to an earnings call that maybe wasn't as feisty. Talking about the semiconductor company Broadcom, you can see that company getting a nice boost, up almost 9% after estimate beating earnings $4.45 billion on the top line. They actually did beat on the bottom line is what I'm talking about here. Adjusted earnings per share, $7.81 compared to the street's estimates of $7.67. The company unveiled a $10 billion share buyback program and also a dividend hike. And guys, what's interesting is that this company was actually underperforming the S&P for most of 2021 until about November. But guys, very interesting movement from that stock size. I don't know if you've got anything that you were watching from that earnings call yesterday.
No, kind of boring. Broadcom historically just hasn't done it for me. I'm more of a Qualcomm guy. I like Qualcomm's play with 5G, car technology, the metaverse, of course, NVIDIA, another player too. I appreciate what Broadcom does in their situation industry. Good to see revenue up 15%, but when I see their earnings release, I essentially fall asleep.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the 8% gain in the stock could help you wake up a little bit. The company, Hock Tan, the company's CEO, said that enterprise is waking up big time. They're asking for products in a very urgent manner. So that kind of gives you not just the temperature on Broadcom itself, but on what it is seeing from its clients. I thought that was an interesting commentary there. JP Morgan upgraded the stock to an overweight from a neutral here this morning. Citigroup said that they would look to get more constructive on signs of sustainable 30% growth. So we'll see if Broadcom can deliver that. I don't know. They're big. They're up a lot. I think they're also trading at a record along with Oracle. I think that's exciting enough.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
It is kind of a story that a big stock bump off of a dividend hike is kind of one of the more boring stories out there, or a share buyback program as well, right? Like, of course that's going to happen. That's good for shareholders.
Thanks for the help, Brian. Appreciate it.
Yeah, well, but no, look, 9% is 9%. So, good for them. At least they've got that going